Alright. So here we are, we're gonna be reading this TWID. It's a pretty big one, there are plenty of changes, so it's gonna take a bit. Obviously you guys can ask questions too, and I'll articulate on that. I've skimmed through it, I haven't seen everything. There are some good changes, some bad changes, some interesting changes. There is a bit of everything. I'm not gonna like say whether it's a good or bad TWID overall yet, but I do think it's a good TWID overall. Most things I saw seemed like fine. So first of all, it seems like they have announced now all seasonal mods, because two of those were missing on the stream they did. Those two I think are the two new ones. I've not read them. I've not read them actually. Supernova. Picking up a void bridge causes your next source of void damage to create a large weakening pulse. I mean, that's valid, I suppose. I would have put this on 4th column. I don't think this does too much. Brain freeze. Frozen combatants become surrounded by chilling fog, which slows combatants that aren't already. Weapons with the Dark Ether Reaper origin trait deal more damage to frozen combatants. I mean, solid mod. This will only really have an application if there are some DPS weapons that happen to have this trait, and even then, the extra damage is only while they're frozen, so probably won't really change too much. Unless it's like crazy, like double damage, but I doubt it. I guess though, like the slowing area is solid. Like that's a good like neutral game mod, but it isn't game changing. So if I had to guess, like which ones the best mods in the artifact are, definitely Conductive Cosmic Crystal, because, I mean, if you use like something like Thunder Crash, Nova, Twilight Arsenal, you should run this because you do more damage to targets affected by stasis. We need to see how much more, but I mean, it might be valid, right? Despite the super nerfs, though. We will see. Sorry. If I actually make a video, the editor should probably cut his knees. Server called. Picking up a stasis shard grants you class ability energy. Okay, so this one also doesn't feel like a 5th column mod, unless it's like a crazy amount of energy. I doubt that though. The best one feels like it's gonna be this one, right? This looks like kinetic tremors, but for GLs. I don't know how much damage it's gonna do, but like it can't be bad. It's free damage, right? Probably won't stack too well with multiple teammates though. Yeah, the 5th column is kind of disappointing, honestly. Like there is no mod that makes me like scream, oh, that's very good, right? I'd say the best mods are the debuff one, right? Where is it? Isn't there a mod? Like, am I crazy? So, okay, first of all, deal increased damage to Scorn. That's gonna be like a must-have in anything that has Scorns, but I doubt the dungeon will have that. No, concussive reload, that's gonna be meta. Like, I feel like you always run that, right? I mean, not always. Obviously, if you don't run the GL, you don't run this, but this is very good. Also because you can use it as an auto-loading for your other weapons, so you can do some rotations with it. So concussive reload probably stays on for the most part. Then I think bot mods that work with finishers are gonna be extremely good, right? Especially the one that gives you DR. I don't know how much DR and I don't know for how long, right? But any DR is usually like must have. So this one, Total Carnage, is probably the best mod in the artifact. After finishing a powerful combatant, gain temporary damage resistance. I guess though it does say powerful combatant. So I guess there is, you know, I guess it's not as crazy as I thought. I did not read powerful. Okay, this might actually be like kind of balanced. This might be fine. We have to see. We have to see how many powerful combatants are in activities and dungeons and stuff. This probably means anything that's yellow bar, right? Like, what do they mean by powerful? I don't think they mean a champ. They could mean only a champ, but... Or like, one of those majors. I don't understand how the health bars really work on enemies. Definitely not a red bar. It could be any yellow bar. Or it could be like... You know those enemies that are like not a regular shitty yellow bar, but are like stronger? It might only be those. I'm not sure. Like, I don't know, Lucent Eye, right? I don't know how you would call that. A major? Like, I'm not sure. No, that a major is a yellow bar, though. I don't know. Anyways, so this one, finisher mod with this other one that the finisher emits a damaging wave. I feel like those two go very well together. Yeah, I mean, that's about it. There aren't too many options for, I think, Unstoppable. It's all Unstoppable Pulse. Kind of sad, but then you have Unstoppable GL, so I suppose that's fine. This mod could have been crazy, but the fact that it consumes an armor charge to blind targets is definitely an issue, so probably you won't end up running it. And then I feel like this one is very good. I mean, it depends if your build uses Frost Armor, but if it does, freezing AoE when you go red bar sounds extremely strong. So, I mean, the mods are interesting. Like, I like the mods because some of the concepts on those mods, some of those concepts are actually, like, pretty cool. Like, this one, for example, I feel like this is one of the coolest mods I've ever read, right? It's not super strong, but the concept is there. It's definitely a cool concept. Definitely not as powerful as the current artifact, though, I would agree. I mean, the current artifact has Galvanic Armor, which is a disgusting mod, right? That is like 30% DR when you're amplified. That's like one of the most broken mods I've ever read. Like, it competes to like OG Classy Restoration if you're using amplified. So like, obviously we can't compare to that in this artifact, I don't think. But there are some interesting like mods. Like, I like how they got creative with them, right? The AoE freeze here, the chilling fog on this other one, you know, like they're kind of cool. And this other one is worth mentioning. If you're using a build that can weaken, you can get free devour. So that's a no-brainer if you're using any weakened. If you aren't, though, well, I suppose you don't have to run this. Also, if you can already get devour in other ways, you also don't have to run this. There is to be said, though, that you can weaken with this mod here. So those two could synergize very well together, right? You can grab a Void Breach, you weaken everything, and then you get devour. So that's solid. That's definitely solid. Is there a way to make a Void Breach? Let's see. I swear I saw one. Maybe there isn't. Like, do you have to play Void to make a Void Breach? Or no? I'm not sure. I don't see it, so no, I don't think there is an easy way. Anyways. Let me read chat for a second. Okay. Now, exotic armor tuning for relevant. This is like the important part, right? So they're kind of like reworking Lucky Pants, right? It's a nerf overall, I'd say, but they are also adding some side buffs, so that's nice. Now provides movement bonuses, including increased slide distance and sprint speed when an end cannon is equipped. This is very good in PvP. Like, this is very good in PvP. Not sure if it's worth your exotic slot, but it's good, right? Airborne effectiveness bonus is active whenever an end cannon is equipped. Not just when the illegally modeled Luster buff is active. That's nice. No longer requires the end cannon to be matched to the super damage type or kinetic to receive the PvE damage buff. Out of luck cooldown will only trigger if you reach 7 stacks of the PvE damage buff before swapping off the weapon or time expires. So if you only shoot a bullet or two, it does not put the thing on cooldown. That makes it feel way less clunky to use, right? Like, if you accidentally swap to it, you don't waste your buff. That is a gigantic buff, by the way. Like, this one is massive for, like, ease of use. And I mean, a good player would probably not really, like, have such issues, right? But it did feel very annoying to have to like deal with that. And to not be able to pull out your cannon to like do anything, to not waste the buff. So this is very good. Very good change. Like when I was doing solo planets, and I don't know if it was solo planets or like some duo master. I don't remember what it was, but I was using Sunshot and Warden Slow, right? Sunshot was for Ad Clear, Warden Slow was for killing the Colossus. It sounds troll, but it's a good double primary loadout. Point is, I always had to pay so much attention on what I swap to. With this, I can have way more freedom to like, you know, fire a couple Sunshot bullets without wasting the perk for Warden Slow. So that's good. Now, maximum damage has been decreased from 600% to 450%. I feel like that's fine. Like it will still fry a champ. Like 100 to 0 in a GM, I think. It will, and I feel like now it's balanced for bosses. Like now it does not cause issues to bosses anymore. Like it's not by far the best like swap exotic, right? Not that it was now because still anti-exists, but my point is before Final Shape it was completely broken, right? After Final Shape they nerfed kinetic weapons. So Lucky Pants already got an hit. And I think they also removed like boss spec and stuff, so they got another hit. And it right now it was fine, but still overtuned. I feel like with this change, it's probably like in a good spot, while also having better like QOL. So I think this is a good change overall, right? I'm sure some people are gonna be mad. They're gonna be like, "Oh, why did you nerf Lucky Pants?" But I don't know. This makes sense to me. Like I read this and I'm like, yeah, this. Let's try it out. Like this makes sense. I think the exotic is still like an S tier exotic at the moment. Okay. Now, Young Amkara Spine. Once again, provides trip mine grenade energy on ability hits instead of final blows. Oh, so they re-added that thing? So they re-added the old effect where hits give energy, but they put a lower number on the PvP values. That's good, but I don't know why they even went the other way to begin with, right? Like, I mean, this is probably less than the original value, I'm not sure. Thing is, the nerf was completely unwarranted in PvE, like they destroyed the exotic PvE for no reason, so I'm glad they are rebuffing it, but there was never a reason to nerf it to begin with, right? Like, let's praise that they rebuffed it, but let's also understand that that's an issue that they caused themselves, because no one in the right mind thought that they needed a PvE nerf. Like, no way. The only thing they were good at was Caretaker, and that's because in Caretaker, the mod Into the Light gives you double grenade damage. They are not really good anywhere else. They were not. So, I mean, they're gonna be now usable at least. Not a meta build, but they're gonna be usable, and that's good, right? We want many exotics to like feel usable. Yeah, I did suggest to like have different numbers in PvE and PvP because I know they can do that. They've said that, right? I remember them mentioning that they cannot tweak like base cooldowns very well, and I think now they can, but back then they couldn't. While now, I mean, they did also say that they can. It's easier for them to like change how much you get like percentage wise from like a mod, right? Compared to like changing the base cooldown. I remember like a dev made a Reddit post about that like a year or so ago. So yeah, this makes sense. I knew this was something that was easier for them to do than changing base cooldowns. So I'm glad they went this route. Sorry, what do you mean? I, I don't know what you mean, Vera. Which witness? Oh, did you do a witness with him? Oh, okay. No. Now, Blight Ranger. I'm interested in that. I've not read this one. Yeah, it was mostly used for glitches. Added the ability to cancel your arc stuff. Super while equipped. Damaging and blinding nearby enemies and granting at your... Oh, okay. No, this... Okay. This saying when you cancel your arc stuff, You damage blind enemies and you get tier 4 arc weapon boost. Okay. Damage dealt by this effect scales based on the number of projectiles reflected prior to cancelling. I hope this is fucking good. Like, I hope that if you deflect a lot, you like cancel it and it hits as hard as a T-Crush. Like, it needs to hit hard, like even harder, because you have to like deflect for a while, right? So I really hope they make this like good. That would be a cool like interaction. It's probably gonna be bad. Like, I don't expect them to make this good. I'm saying I wish they would make this good because I feel like it's cool. It's unique. No longer creates orb of power when reflecting. Reflecting now instead directly refunds super energy. It's probably a nerf overall, but I guess it synergizes better with the first thing they added. Rage's Harness. With almost all of its old behavior moved to Blight Ranger, we've rebuilt Rage's Harness based on its lore tab to differentiate it from other Arc Staff exotics. It now enhances the Arc Super Gathering Storm, calling down lightning around the user when it is activated, as well as adding a neutral game source of super energy. Activating Gathering Storm calls down lightning on all nearby targets, jolting them while also amplifying allies. I mean, we need to see how much damage this does, but is this like an ad clear thing? I mean, you can probably do it close to a boss and do some damage to him too with this like calling down lightning, but this sounds like an ad clear thing. Defeating arc debuff targets grants a small amount of Gathering Storm energy. I mean, okay, this might be very good for like charging your super, maybe, but it says small amount, and yeah, I don't see how you would use this instead of just using like Star Eaters, right? Because let's be real, if you want ad clear, you're probably not using Gathering Storm. If you're using Gathering Storm, you probably want to do good damage to a boss. And I struggle to see how you would rather have an exotic that does some lightning on all nearby targets compared to like damaging a boss, right? So cool, but probably not something that's gonna be used, right? Like I can appreciate them having like creative ideas, but I'm not sure if they cooked with this one. We will have to see. Something to try it out. Molk, welcome. Yeah, it's my main language. Relativism. Prismatic Hunters have access to lots of stacking melee damage bonuses, which all compound with each other, leading to some out-of-band melee damage. Spirit of Synthesis already provides a lower bonus if you also have Combination Blow active. In Revenant, it will provide the same lower bonus when the Status Executioner buff is active. Okay, so now they nerfed the Synthos and Stylish, so they nerfed the grapple melee while you were in Vision Hunter that was like hitting very hard. The thing is, this was niche. Like, this was niche, right? Very niche. And not practical, like... So in 99% of the practical scenario, Banner of War Titan was just better. Right? Now, that said... I think the nerf can make sense, right? Some diminishing returns can make sense to be added. I just don't understand why they would add this and then probably not touch anything about Titan. I doubt they did. And I also don't understand why they nerfed the Synthos class item when the Liars and Shake class item is like 20 times better, no? Like, Liars and Shake with Combination Blow is actually broken. Like, Synthos is not something you would ever use in serious content, I don't think. Because it's not good with Combo Blow, and the grapple melee while in Viz is sketch. Well, the one that's actually broken is the Liars one. So, confused about changing this and not changing the Liars one, but I mean, all good. Ultimate is not like super broken because I guess it's not AoE, like the melee itself. But on the other hand, every time you dodge, you like slow and then freeze, so that makes it AoE. So it's borderline. Like, I get the point. Like, the crazy melee damage was from Synthos Stylish with the grapple and not from the Liars combo, but I do think the Liars combo is like way stronger than the Synthos combo. like when I was doing Solo Witness, I was using the Liars, like the regular ones, because I don't have the class item with Liars Calibans. But yeah, I mean, anyways. Titan, Icefall Mantle. So this one is interesting. So now you gain a stack of Frost Armor for Rapid Stasis Final Blows. Not bad. Each time you gain a stack of Frost Armor from any source, you will heal for a small amount. Not bad. The unique class ability granted by Icefall Mantle now provides maximum stacks of Frost Armor instead of its custom Overshield. Not bad. You will also immediately heal for each stack that gets added. Weird, because this means that if you already had stacks, you get healed for less. I don't think that makes sense. Like, it almost should be the opposite, right? Like, why is the game punishing you for having stacks? Right? If you already are max stack because you are utilizing your build very well, you will not get healed at all, which I don't think makes any sense. Like, all good. Not a huge deal, but it sounds backwards, you know what I mean? It no longer prevents sprinting or jump abilities. And it now works when Thruster is equipped. That's very good. I mean, that was the reason when one was using it, right? I mean, also, yeah. I don't know why it didn't work when Thruster was equipped, but that's just a bug, I guess. Class ability energy now begins to recharge immediately after using Icefall Mantle's class ability. I didn't know it didn't. All good. The burst of stasis energy from the class ability now freezes combatants and slows players. Honestly, that's very good. Like, that's very good interaction. No longer provides bonus stasis weapon damage. All good. Now requires a stasis super to be equipped to benefit from its exotic effects. Makes sense. Would it be crazy to say that it would have been cool to not require a stasis super? Like, we're often not using stasis supers, right? Let's be real. I feel like they should have just went crazy with it and be like, yeah, just do whatever you want. If you don't want to use a stasis super, like, go for it. I feel like it could have seen more uses, because while it's not bad and it feels like a pretty good defensive exotic, I struggle to use... I mean, Titans struggle to use anything that's not Synthoceps, right? You would have to convince me very hard for me to go Stasis Super and use Icefall Mantle. Well, if I could, you know, use something else, then maybe, yeah, maybe. You know? Anyways, I mean, this might be good. You know, it's kind of unfair to compare everything to Synthos, right? Like, let's be real, it's kind of unfair. I'm just saying, though, like, from a realistic point of view, it's probably not gonna be equipped in, like, Arden game, which is fine. I'm just saying. Cadmus Ridge Landscape. We feel this exotic as a fun gameplay loop that was a bit too restricted. Remove the status weapon requirement. No only final blows or rapid precision hits while behind the rally barricade will create a diamond lens near you. Directly hitting any powerful combatants with the diamond lens will now create 3 stasis shards. Cool. I mean, I still think this exotic is pretty bad. Like, I don't think this gets used, but I'm glad they are giving it some QL and some buffs. 1 second. Okay, I'm back. Now, Ursa Furiosa and Spirit of the Bear. We feel this exotic could provide additional super energy for using it in PvE. Increased maximum super energy gain for Unbreakable in PvE from 15 to 20%. Fix an issue where you are getting more super energy from Unbreakable in PvP than intended. Okay, I mean, I have not messed with this new aspect. Like, it felt so bad to me when I tried it. I have not messed with it too much. It's probably still bad. Right? So, if I read this correctly, as long as you block the max amount of damage with Unbreakable, now you gain 20% of your super back, which sounds good in paper, but in reality, you can just shoot a rocket sidearm 5 times or get like 2 milli kills, and that's probably half your super. So, like super energy is completely broken in the game because being damage based, there are certain weapons that almost don't charge it at all, and that's most weapons. And then there are some weapons like, I don't know, a rocket sidearm or a fusion rifle where you legit shoot one bullet and get like a quarter of your super. So everything that charges your super doesn't really matter because if you like are playing to charge your super fast, you can do it in like so many other ways and not wasting an aspect. Even just like mods like, I don't know, melee kills grant you super energy, grenade kills grant you super energy. You know, it's free. I don't even remember the name. I think it's Ants On and Ashes to Assets. Yeah, that. Anyways. Actually, is it Ants On? We can cut this part from the video if it gets edited, but... Is it Ants On or is Ants On the one on gloves? I don't remember. How is the mod called, chat? Now I need to check. Yeah, Ants On are on the gloves. It's... I don't remember. No, I was right. Ants On is on the helmet. No, I was right. Yeah. It's heavy ended on the gloves. Okay. Now, curious. So this is like one of the insane changes. Now, Thunder Crash. Okay. Now, I don't know if you guys disagree with me, but Thunder Crash is like C to B tier, maybe C tier. Like it is in the unusable realm. I feel like it's very bad. Okay, it's not like Nova Warp or like Spectral Blades kind of bad, but for a burst super, it's pretty fucking bad. Because it's the only super that requires you to like use your body as a weapon, and it depositions yourself. So if you're doing like a damage rotation on a boss, like it completely destroys your damage because you need to like deposition yourself and then come back to your position. On top of that, you are at a massive risk of just dying or falling off the map or like getting stomped into oblivion. So the super isn't very good for like how you need to use it, and the super does already way less damage than like uh other supers. Which I get really confused here because I don't know why down here into the TWAB they are saying where is it? Isn't there a part about like super balancing? Where is it? I'm gonna skip a bit. Here they're saying Celestial Network Goldengun will still deal around 70% of the damage of a query standard crash. That's just not true. Like Goldie doesn't do less than Goldie doesn't do less than T-Crash right now. Or I mean it might do less, but it's like it's not like 25% to 30% less. That's just not true, right? Like that is straight up misinformation, I think. Or am I crazy? Does anyone have a spreadsheet? Because I'd be shocked if like T-Crash does way more than Goldie. I don't think that's true. So I don't know what numbers they're using, but I don't think they're correct. Like straight up. Oh, they probably... Bro, no, like... No way. Chat, they forgot that Golden Gun gets buffed by Radiant. That is insane. 100% what happened. It is 100% what happened. That is just crazy. Jesus Christ, like, bro. No, for sure. Like, they 100% forgot. Like, that doesn't make... It doesn't make any sense otherwise. Like, I read that and I was like, what did they just type? All good. Anyways. T-Crash buff when amplified. I mean, they could. So anyways. Melee final blows while amplified now grant super energy. That's a reason to keep Cuirass as a neutral game exotic. So that's nice. Will you do that? No, you will not. You will just use Synthos, right? And it will still be a swap exotic. But cool. Reduce the damage bonus from Cuirass to Thunder Crush from 2 to 1.55x. This keeps the overall damage similar to what it was previously. That's because they buffed the base damage of Thunder Crush. So that's probably a good thing of like making base T Crush better and making the exotic worse. I don't think that's a bad thing, but I do think the super is really lacking. Like I think the super is pretty bad. Deciding to use a T Crush over a Goldie is tough. Like it's really tough. Now, Thunder Crush is on Prismatic, right? I think it is. Replace the overshield after impact with damage resistance. 50% in PvE. Okay, so now, no. Depending on for how many seconds this lasts for, this is actually broken. I mean, the overshield was big, but 50% DR is crazy. So if it's like for a bunch of seconds, they made it safer to T-Crash, which I guess is nice. This is still a swap exotic though, like, if you guys are playing with this on and just like punching stuff, like, you're not doing it right. You should just play Synthos and then swap. Obviously, unless you're playing like a GM and stuff like that. You know, that's more of an issue with the game than an issue with the exotic, but that's just how the game is played, right? Like, if you can swap loadout, you will. Most of the time. Now. Peacekeepers. Peacekeepers never had a place in PvE content. Oh my god, is that a bum meta? Dealing damage to combatants with an SMG increases SMG damage for a short time. Maximum of 20 stacks. 100% bonus damage? Bro! No. Why did you say it's Titans? Why are Lucky Pants 450%? And they're on end cannons that are like by far the best primary in the game. And Titans get like PKs that do extra damage. And it's like 100%. Bro. That's fucking stupid. Like, this should have at least been 200%, but even 300. Let's be real. Oh, they don't have a cooldown? Okay, that's valid, I guess. But I mean, when you reload, you still lose the buff. I would have made this higher. Fuck it, bro. SMG meta would have been crazy. Can you imagine Titans DPSing the Witness with a Luna faction well to get more range on an SMG? Would have been peak. Mask of the Quiet One. Rapid final blows and final blows while a critical health will now grant Devour. That's good. You need to be on a Void super. I mean, that's a very good way to get Devour. I mean, this might become a swap exotic. I feel like this just becomes a swap exotic, like, a lot, right? You just, like, get red bar. Like, you rocket Saturn yourself, get a kill, get devoured, and swap it off. All good. I truly think they should change how Devour is kept, by the way. Like, I don't know if it's a nut take, but even, like, years ago, you could like, I don't know, play a Void subclass, get Devour, swap to an Arc subclass. I don't know if you remember, like, solo master conflux in VOG. People were like doing that, right? Getting Devour on Void, swapping to Arc, and then spamming Storm Nades. I think if you unequip whatever gave you Devour, so like, I don't know, an aspect, an exotic armor, even an exotic weapon like Buried Bloodline, I think you should lose that Devour. Like, I don't think you should keep it if you took away the source of it. Or at the very least, you shouldn't be able to refresh it on kills. I don't know if it's a not take, but it's the only subclass verb that can be, like, kept without having its source anymore. Other verbs can't do that, so it's kind of odd. Anyways. I'm saying this because, like, as much as I'm commenting on how many of those things would become a swap meta thing, they just... I don't like swap metas. Like, I don't like them. I would like the game to de-incentivize people to live in their inventory. And Devour is, like, the subclass verb that incentivizes you the most to, like, play a swap... like, play with swaps. So I think that's, like, not ideal for the game. All good, though. Not a big deal. What do you mean, skew? Yeah, you can probably make yourself critical, get devour, and keep it up, yeah. Okay, exotic class item. So those ones are pretty bad. Activating thruster leaves a ball of solar energy bind, exploding and applying scar to enemies caught in the blast. Bind though? Like, what am I gonna do? Like, bind me? If I'm placing a barricade while like giving my back to enemies, I'm trolling. Like, what am I doing? Oh, good though. Now, Spirit of Alpha Loop, activating thruster heals you and nearby allies. That is disgusting in PvP. Like, that is quite literally disgusting in PvP. Like, it's not even funny how disgusting that is. Oh, good. Spirit of Orfrost, activating thruster spawns a pair of stasis crystals. Cool, but I still ain't using that, right? Yeah, no, I guess those work like bombardiers, but bombardiers aren't good. It's like War Mask, yeah, but Thruster is way quicker of an animation than a dodge. Anyways. Does Thruster give you DR in PvP? Because usually class abilities do. I don't know if Thruster does. No one uses it, so. Balidor's Retrievers. We are further enhancing this exotic super capabilities while tweaking it to allow the bonus super shatter damage to be more useful in a raid environment. Adjusted the Earth of the Pack. Earth of the Pack? That's Galli. Okay, sorry. Adjusted the Earths of Ice perk to increase the shatter damage of targets frozen by Shadeband super projectile by 100%, regardless of who breaks them out. Added granting Frost Armor to your allies with Frost Pools or Winter's Wrath grants you super energy. Ranges in potency based on how many allies it is granted to. I mean, so I didn't know the bonus damage was only if you shattered it. So that's good that now whoever breaks them out gets the bonus damage. That said, you still have to freeze them with the super. It's like, I don't know. It's kind of weird because, I mean, maybe you're the only source of freeze, sure, but you're not gonna DPS a boss by hitting it with Winter Threat. Right? I don't know. Like, ain't no way you like a DPS phase starts and you start left clicking with Winter Threat. Like that's so it's a bit out of touch to say useful in raid environments. Like no one is gonna use it. Like cool, but it's just not a good damage super. Um, now, uh, does the exotic do other things? Like, does the exotic still give you like stasis surges, or is it only frost armor now, chat? I don't even remember. Vulpus Ling more Bombs were giving a neutral game benefit to School of Dynam card that feels fitting for the Voidwalker playstyle. Added weapon defeats while Devour is active grants super energy. Not bad, honestly. Solid. Let's check Validors. Oh yeah. No, they still give Stasis weapon surge. I mean, like they aren't the worst exotic in the game. I just don't think they are very good either. But it's valid. It's a good QL change, I guess. It's a good QL change. I mean, many of those exotics were cool when they gave you stackable damage buffs. Now that they give surges, they really fell off. But it is how it is. Uh, Can you even use this on Prismatic, by the way? Or do you have to be on Stasis? Surely you can, right? So with Alchemy, Warlocks have some of the lowest exotic armor variety in PvP. Oh, I did not just read that. And for a while it has felt like they were missing a target marking exotic in the same realm as Knucklehead Raider or One-Eyed Mask. Two of the most cringe exotics in the game, everyone hates them, and they literally are said that they're gonna rework Knucklehead for how broken it is. So why are you feeling like you have to add this? You don't. I promise you, you don't. No one asked for that. Not a single soul. What better candidate to fulfill that role than the one that already used to do it? Sanguine Alchemy. Did it? I don't remember. We wanted to be careful. Uh, to activate target marking, you must damage a target from within a rift. Bro, that's fucking broken. And the mark will fall off after 5 seconds. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I know current Knucklehead is broken. I don't disagree. Like, it's fucking stupid that it's even in the game. I don't disagree. But that doesn't mean you can shoot someone from a rift and they're just marked. Bro, you deal 10% extra damage from any source against marked targets? Now provides Surge 4x to weapons that match your super damage. Bro, can you just like double tap people with like 120s in PvP with this? Like, can you just play like, well, you put on down like an Emp Rift and you just double tap someone with Igneous? Like, surely. Either way, okay. Let's say this: PvP is awful, right? Like PvP is unbalanced. So this is very cringe. But isn't this broken in PvE? Like legit, like a class just gaining 10% extra damage for no reason. Like, I mean, it has to be stackable, right? I mean, there is no way. If it doesn't stack with Emp Rift, I guess it will still be good in PvP with healing rifts. But if it does stack with Emp Rift, which I think it will, because it sounds more like a debuff. I feel like it would be crazy. Like, why would the Warlock just not use that, right? Like, boss fight starts, he just plays a rift and like shit on him like during the DPS phase. Does this work with well, or do you have to place an actual rift? Like, can you well and do that or no? I don't know if anyone knows that. It works with well. Yeah, that's just disgusting. That's gonna be the go-to DPS exotic for Warlocks. That's just disgusting. All good. Uh, it's not game breaking, but it's very strong. Ryan, welcome. Mephisto, welcome. You haven't played System Titan nerfs. Oh, it's broken. It's basically the same. I mean, the grapple points don't last forever. The regen is a bit worse, but it's still disgusting. You just can't melee back to back after a shot hit. Like, if you melee with the regular melee, it deactivates 1-2 punch. So you can only do like shotty melee. You can't do shotty melee. But it's still super broken with like the grapple melees if you know how to do that. Yeah. The thing is, the grapple point doesn't last forever. You only add some durations to it when you grapple to it. This doesn't have to be in the video. I was just answering a question. I don't know if it has to be your well. I would assume so. If you can just throw a Nova, then like swap to this and like enter someone's well, it would be crazy. But I don't know. Maybe you can. Anyways, this is like the craziest rework so far, I think. Like, this is actually broken. I mean, not broken. Like, it's not broken because 10% more damage doesn't break the game. Especially because Warlocks are not the best DPS class, right? That's Hunters. So, like, Warlocks are still gonna be worse than Hunters because Hunters just have Night Oak. So, like, you can't... You know, that's a different combo. You can't even come close to an Hunter because Night Oak exists. But that's still, like, a crazy buff to an exotic. Verity's Brown and Spirit of Verity. The first stack of that Trons now provide 40%. Each additional stack now provides 15. It's a buff. Yeah, it doesn't change much. It's a buff though, it's good. We heard your feedback that hiding the target marker from the player was confusing, so we're reverting the change. Thank God, like this is the dumbest thing I've ever seen. Doesn't change anything, but that was so dumb. Osmomancy gloves can feel frustrating to play against in PvP. Reduce the increased seeker distance and speed by 50%. I don't think. Was anyone even using those in PvP? It's not very common. I mean, it's probably frustrating. I don't think it's very common, but all good. Speaker site. We pretty rapidly pulled the parachute on speaker site's orb generation in Crucible. After some iteration and internal playtesting, we think we've landed in a spot where we can bring back the orb generation in Crucible without encouraging self-damage and stalling at the start of the match. 6 instances of healing a damaged ally in Crucible will spawn an Orb of Power. Is this really necessary? Like, do they really want something that makes orbs? It's probably not gonna, like, be as broken as it was. I don't know. I mean, I want to say the solution would be to, like, not make it work if you self-damage yourself, right? I'm fairly sure there are certain things that don't work if you self-damage yourself. I can't think of them now, though. It's probably not gonna be too crazy, but I just don't think it was necessary. We will see how this plays, I guess. Reaper mod? I mean, for Reaper, though, you need to get a kill, right? With this, you can just, like, camp. Super damage exotic tuning. So, okay. Let's read this. With Revenant, we are taking a pass at balancing the potential damage output provided to one-shot super abilities by the exotic armor pieces that enhance them. Our goal is to better standardize damage across the various options while ensuring that supers that are more challenging to use or require the player to put themselves in a disadvantaged position are more potent. Keep this line in mind. More challenging to use. Put the player in a disadvantaged position. Okay, you keep those 2 lines in mind. Here is the list of the exotic and super combinations we are looking to dial in, ranked by how much damage they will put out after this update, with the highest damage at the top. We've noted how much each super plus exotic damage will be changing as well. So this, like, what do they mean by that? Thunder Crash is not, is just not, and again, it's not the highest damage super. It's not the super with the most damage. It's just not. Like, it's just not that. Like, it's just not true. It's probably at the bottom. What? Like, where did they get that? Does anyone have, like... Does anyone have, like, a spreadsheet? Like, I promise you it's just not. So, Pyrogales, it's very hard. But there is no way Pyrogales is more than Nova Bomb with Star Eaters. Like, that just sounds fucking stupid. says after update. Bro, I promise you, you can give this thing double damage and it probably still does less than a Nova. Like, it's not... It's just not there. Like, I don't know where they got those numbers from. Okay, maybe not double damage, but... Like, it's just... Any sprint shades? Why is Celestial at the bottom? That's a good question. Good question. The Twilight Arsenal nerf is insane. Like, this thing is ass. This thing is so bad. And I want to point out, ensuring that supers that are more challenging to use or require the player to put themselves in a disadvantage are more potent. 26% nerf to Twilight Arsenal. This shit, bro. I can cast this super, go to my living room, take a cup of coffee. I can go on my garage and like have a conversation with my mother about how our day went. I can come back up. I can go pet my dog. I come back here and I still haven't thrown the second axe. 26% nerf. Yeah, bro? It's bad. Like, it's not bad, but it's not good. I don't know why they would nerf that. I don't get it. Like, it does feel like they don't play the game when they do things like that. All good. Star Eaters plus Needle Storm unchanged. I would hope so. This shit is ass. Star Eaters plus Storm's Edge unchanged. Bro. Like, dude. Who is DPSing a boss with Storm's Edge? We have 288 people in chat. Who casted this shit on a boss like ever? Please, I need to know. That's just insane. Like, what? Does it even do damage? That's just not... I don't know. That's just crazy. I guess they put it here because it's a one-off super? It's not even a one-off super. It's more of a roaming super, no? I don't know. They are trying to close the gap between normally using a super and exotics buffing a super. I mean, I would be okay with that. Like, if they wanted to buff the base super and nerf the exotic interaction, I think that's smart. The issue is that while doing so, why are you buffing Goldie? Like, you read this, right? And all this does is make Goldie better, right? Because the only thing that even came close to Goldie was Nova and Twilight Arsenal, and they're nerfed. So you're making the best super in the game better. And I mean, I guess T-Crash being unchanged is a buff relatively, but T-Crash is unusable, and Burning Mole, I guess it's solid. I hate it. Like, I hate using that super. It whiffs half the time, but it is good, I guess, yeah. And the buff to Burning Mole is, like, interesting. I'll say that. Like, this will be competitive. It's actually usable. You're forced on an inferior super, but it's fine, I guess. Still, though, like, I'm sure most people agree that, like, Gold is the easiest super to use here. Like, yeah, you have to crit it, but let's be real, bro. If you're doing a raid or a dungeon, you probably have a div. Like, it's not hard to use Goldie, and you can shoot it from far away. You can precast it before a damage phase. There are so many advantages. Also, that's not even considering the fact that, I don't know how many of you know, but if you cast Goldie and you fire holding left click, like if you cast and shoot as fast as you can, it does 10% more damage. Like, the actual number of the Goldie changes. It does 10% more damage roughly. For no reason. Plus, Goldie can Goldie chunk and do double damage. And this 10% extra damage that Goldie can do can also chunk. So you can chunk the extra 10%, right? So you can do 20% more. Now, both those things are bugs, but Bungie fixed Golding and Challenge Impossible. I'm fairly sure it's because Golding can pierce. And so it's a netcode thing, but either way. Yeah. Bash, thanks for the 14 months. Ray Po, excited for the new dungeon? Yeah, of course. No, I think that's good. Nerf it, like, bro. Like, if you want to balance Celestial, it needs to catch a 20% to 15% nerf. and it's still the best super in the game. Like, there is nothing that will, I don't know. Celestial is too good. Like, I don't think, I'm not even really asking for a nerf. I don't care if they nerf it. My point is, it is by far the best super in the game. Like, it's not even remotely close for damage. And it never will be if they keep going with those changes. Like, it's not even remotely close. Because it is the only super that you can always use in every scenario. Because it's a crit, right? It's a crit. You can always do it from any distance on any boss. I guess the only one that you can't is Atrax, because the crit multiplier is like fucked. But that's a very weird exception that I don't even know if I want to consider. Like, Goldie always works. If there is a final stand, the strat is always to have like 4 Goldies. It's never not gonna be, because you can precast it. The fact that you can precast it gives you like insane burst damage that nothing else can get close to. T-Crash has the issues with like, you know, having to get close. Burning Mole isn't gonna do damage all of the time. Nova, you're gonna throw a Nova and 6 of your team rockets are gonna hit the Nova and you're gonna do no damage. You're gonna be kicked from the fire team before loot. Twilight Arsenal, again, takes 2 hours to throw. Like, Needle Storm is just bad. Like, Goldingen is just like 20 times better than everything in this list. And yeah, this is weird. All good though. Like, it's fine, you know. We're gonna keep using Hunters for final stands. Like, it's not a huge deal. It doesn't destroy the game or anything. It's just weird. Then that's a fundamental issue of the super themselves. I don't think so, right? What do you mean? It's I don't think it's a bad thing that each super has like downsides, right? I don't think it's a bad thing that Thunder Crash has the downside of getting close. I don't think it's a bad thing that Nova has the downside of blocking bullets. I mean, Burning Mole whiffing, yeah, that's something that you should fix. But supers having weaknesses, like Twilight Arsenal taking long to cast, isn't an issue. You just have to balance the damage around that. Goldie has 0 weaknesses, so the damage shouldn't be so out of board, in my opinion. Mm. Also, why did they not mention like Gathering Storm here, and they didn't mention Blade Barrage? Oh, good. You can still precast though, Devesh, if you do that. So I don't know if it will change much, but yeah, fair. But Golding doesn't have the best total damage. But yeah, you can insta-cast it from any distance at any boss. That's the issue, I guess. Which is fine. You can keep Golding like that. Just don't make it hit so fucking hard. And I think, just to specify, I think they should keep Goldingan this strong against champs and shit. Because Goldingan, like, not one-tapping a champ that's stunned in a GM is cringe. That part is good. I just think against bosses it's completely out of the board. Not that the last day one didn't show it, but yeah, I mean. It's not... I want to make this very clear. Like, Goldingan being broken is not a huge issue within the game. I want to make this very clear. Like, this is nowhere as problematic as, like, what Well was causing to the game. Or, like, what Resilience tier 10 is causing to the game. Like, this is not a big problem. It's silly, and the change makes no sense, in my opinion. But it doesn't mean that it's, like, destroying the game. It's just silly. Does that make sense? Because, like, yeah, Goldingan is the best super, but, you know, all good. Like, you can just use Goldie, or even if you use another super, it's not, like, you know, It's not like a huge difference. Like Goldie is better, but it's not a huge difference. Like you can make like a burning mode work in some encounters. Yeah, but I don't know if they need to fix the issues that the other super have. Like, how do you fix the issue that Thunder Crash makes you get close to a boss? That's not an issue. That's how the super works, right? Which should mean that Thunder Crash should do more damage. I don't think that's true, Bergen. They fixed the Goldie bullshit. Oh, the infinite Goldie? I mean, I guess. Mm, I mean, T-Crash is bad on any boss, though, unless you're literally using a shotgun on them. That's the point. Even if you're using rockets or GLs, you still gotta retake the distance, otherwise you can't fire. Anyways. So now, we wanted to encourage more accurate gameplay in PvE. Slightly increasing the critical hit damage while reducing the body shot damage. I don't hate this. Sunshot exists, so it doesn't matter, but I don't hate this. That's probably a good change. Uh, so what did they do here? Are they nerfing pulses in PvE? Bro. Yeah, I think they are nerfing pulses in PvE. Which is insane because they aren't even good, right? Like, I know they buffed them recently, but they're still miles behind than cannons. I mean, yeah, it's only. I mean, fair. I guess those two pulses were very good, but uh, yeah, I mean, this won't hurt them too much. I guess those two pulses specifically were very good. I still wouldn't have done it. Like, all good though. Yeah, they're the I guess primary DPS maybe, but it's not practical. Like your stun shot is better, right? And no, pulses are not the best primary. Like Uncan, it's like primaries are in this weird limbo where like most of them are a 3 out of 10. Pulses are probably like a 7, and end cannons are a 10. Like end cannons aren't even close, like not even remotely to any other primary. But it's not like even like end cannons are so much better than other primaries that it's almost like comparing a special weapon to a primary. The gap is that big, like it's not even close. Because end cannons just do more damage to yellow bars, and PvE is full of yellow bars. So the fact that you just do like double damage to yellow bars because of the change they did just makes end cannons like miles better than everything else. Like it is, trust me, it is not close. You're trolling if you're not using an end cannon. And of course, there are situations where you can't use an end cannon if you are very far away, but they're just not as good. Uh, I don't think Gravity is better than Sunshot because it's not as versatile, but I see your point. Now, this here, very good changes here. Very good changes here. Snipers have felt out of place in PvE content for quite some time, without any defined role if they're not top tier for DPS. We want to change that and further reward using snipers against more than just bosses, so we are greatly increasing their non-boss damage and greatly reduce their flinch against combatants. Now, uh, I want to point this out. I'm fairly sure that reducing the flinch against combatants by 50% will still make them unusable in PvE if you get shot. Like, I think the flinch is that bad right now, and the animation is like so insane, like you actually can't see anything anymore, that they could reduce the flinch by like 80% and you still wouldn't be able to shoot. Like, I don't think you can shoot straight with snipers. I hope to be proven wrong, because I hate flinch in PvE. Even in PvP, but especially in PvE. So, I don't think this changes anything, but I hope it does. Now, increase damage against minors by 60, majors by 75, mini bosses by 35, champions by 25. Good changes. Honestly, I would have buffed them against bosses too. Fuck it. Go for it. Outside of Still Ant, I think they could have went nuts. Obviously, like, not much, but maybe like a 10%, but I can see why they didn't do that. Overall, though, allowing them to like clear champs and mini bosses better, that's very good. I like the change. Corrected an issue where perks that change the magazine side could sometimes display incorrect preview values. All good. Impus welcome. Zombie welcome. Yeah, I'll probably post it on YouTube. Oh no, Warrior, I do agree. I do think metas where encandles are good metas. So like, I don't mind encandles being good primaries. My point is that I don't think it will hurt. I don't think it would hurt if other primaries were good too. I don't think encandles should be bad though. Encandles should probably be this good. Just make other primaries good too. Yeah, it doesn't affect bosses though, T. So what is this sprint shit? Is it updated and is it accurate? No, I don't care with swaps. I want to see like the single damage. Goldie with Celestial and Radiant. Okay. 656. 10% more if you insta shoot. I guess. So Nova with Fist of Light. Yeah, like, dude. Like, Nova is so bad compared to Nighthawk. Like, there is no universe. There is no universe where 150k damage justifies using fucking big Nova for damage and running Star Eaters. Like, no one in the right mind will go in a day one raid and be like, yo, I'm gonna equip Star Eater scales and like get 6 orbs and go into damage with a fucking Nova. Like, that doesn't exist. That is insanity, in my opinion. Like, you're actually throwing. So that's why those super changes make no sense. Like, even if you don't block rockets from everyone, like, just the risk of like being able to die, right? Like, you can die. It is possible. Like, if you die, you lose your stacks. If you lose your stack, your super does dog shit damage. And on top of that, doesn't Big Nova rely on the big like orbs tracking to the boss again? You know, the seekers, whatever. If there are ads around the boss, those don't always hit the boss, right? So this damage here is also like not realistic because the boss isn't always isolated. Like, if you're doing Herald Final Stand and you toss a Nova, it might track to the ogres that spawn behind, right? It's just not. It's just not there, chat. Okay, anyways. It's not that's not the point, Yasha. The point is that you can't, like, not being able to use an exotic armor is an insane like nerf to. Like, first of all, you have to play Prismatic Warlock, which is probably the worst Prismatic subclass. It's not bad, but I think it's the worst. Second, you can't play with an exotic. Like, you can't use Gateway Artist while using Star Eaters. Like, that's the issue. You are sacrificing your neutral game exotic to do potentially 150k more. That's never gonna be worth it. Like, Star Eaters aren't a swap exotic. Nighthawk is a swap exotic. Like, that's the huge difference. We're not playing with lock loadouts, right? If we were playing with lock loadouts, your point, like, the point would have more sense. But the game isn't balanced around lock loadouts. The hardest content in the game doesn't have lock loadouts. So you are just losing an exotic armor if you want to play Star Eaters. Anyways. Uh, Song of Flame work with Sol Invictus, that's actually kind of funny. Thunder Crush. Yeah, Thunder Crush is worse. It's 575, right? It's worse than Goldie. So they're just lying here. Me when I lie. With the highest damage at the top. Yeah, I guess, but like Night, like you can't not count that Nighthawk gets Radiant. Like it's just not, it doesn't help the conversation. I get what you mean, but like, oh good. Twilight Arsenal. Why is the value not there? It's this one, right? So this, like this is embed, right? This is more than the Nova. Is it 886? Yeah, this is more than the Nova, but it takes so long to throw, bro. Oh, this has weakened, others don't? Oh, that's true. Yeah, that's ass. So this takes longer and does less damage. I guess in their mind... I guess you guys got ads. Wait. Splits. Are ads over? I swear I saw ads pull up on the left. That's why I stopped talking. I drink my blueberry juice. Okay, good. Yeah. Let me know if it happens again that you guys get ads. I can stop. Anyways. So, this does less damage than Nova. Takes longer to throw and tracks like shit. And you're forced to run Fist of Light. I guess in their mind, I think in Bungie's mind, since you can create those 3 axes, that's value, right? In their mind, they're like, oh, this super doesn't only do damage, it also leaves axes on the ground. But like, dude, who cares? That doesn't include throwing the axes again. How much damage do they even do? Oh, 100k? I don't know, that animation takes a good bit. Also, I mean, if you toss that shit at a boss, you can't pick it up. That's just troll. That's just troll. I'm not considering that number. Fuck that. That's just troll. That's just cope. Uh, yeah, I don't know. So 886 we said, right? It's a 26% nerf. 886 times 0.74, right? It's 655. Jesus Christ, it's so bad. Goldie, Nighthawk, 656. Goldie, it's harder than a 6x post nerf Twilight Arsenal. Like, you cannot tell me that they played their game. It's actually just terrible. Like, it already wasn't good. Does the list make more sense if you reverse the order? No. Gold is not the highest damage. No. I mean, Twilight Arsenal technically was than Nova. No. What is Burning Maul? Burning Maul chunks, right? Yeah, bro. It says that it does less than a Goldie, right? Yeah, that's with 3 extra Roaring Flames. Like, I know it's ass, but when we tested it on Kali, the health bar was moving weird. I think Burning Maul is just very inconsistent. I ate Burning Maul. I actually just ate the super, but yeah, on paper it's not that good. Sometimes it feels like it chunks. Oh, good. That's so funny. Minimum damage after fall off has been increased from 0 to 40%. That is such a good change. But saying versus AI only is so funny. So if we match bad players in PvP, can I do 40% damage? No, okay, I'm joking. Anyways. uh, I would love for this change to be a PvP change. Uh, too, because I feel like I always ate it after did 0, but oh good. Maybe Yasha, yeah. I think that's very good. Rocket alarms are broken. Uh, we will be taking a larger look at their dominance in heresy. I wonder how they will nerf in heresy. Yeah, I guess reducing reserves a bit makes sense. Fair. Now this change is big. I love this change here. Increase base ammo for trace rifle in PvP, no one cares. Increased adaptive machine guns, crit damage in PvP. 4%, bro, no one cares. Some of those changes are like so minimal that like, why did they even do them? Uh, AVM grenade launchers. Decrease damage from the detonation by 5%. Increase projectile impact damage correspondingly. Is that a nerf or a buff? Was it more on the impact or more on the explosion? Oh, okay, in PvE total damage is the same. In PvP now they do more impact. Okay. Increase the rapid fire frame impact and detonation damage by 7%. That's like solid. I don't know if there are any good rapid fires. Probably doesn't change much. You feel like Goldie loses value as well because it can be dangerous to step outside the well sometimes. I feel like that's almost never though. Like I see your point, and you're not always like outside of the well, but I feel like usually you are. Like it's something that I feel like good players can easily think about. I don't know. Especially because well, I could have seen your point more if well was like in the broken state, where being inside or outside changed a lot. Now I feel like whether you're inside or not, it doesn't really change too much. It's more of like inside you heal. So I don't know. It's something you have to pay attention to. That's true. I still don't think it justifies those changes. Yeah, Goldie gets the air in PvP, doesn't it? I feel like it does. I'm not sure. PvP weapon macro tuning. I don't know if we care about this. Nerfing incandescence is kinda wild. Autos don't care. Pulses probably need to be nerfed. Uh, Way more. Like I feel like pulses are like completely broken in PvP right now. It's actually unplayable against them. I feel like you need to nerf them way harder. Anyways, buffing SMGs is always an L. Not sure about this. Not sure about all of this. Probably fine. Doesn't really matter. Uh, so char of one. Reduce base reserves from 250 to 200. Reduce max from 384 to 300. Reduce impact damage with 50%. Increase the hip fire projectile damage against players by 10%. Now starts with 7 ammo in Crucible. Wait, so are they not gonna fix the bug where it does like double damage when it splits? Yeah. I don't know if this will actually affect the DPS it does with the bug. Because there is a perfect distance where the gun does like more than double damage, I think. I don't know if this will affect it. It might, because I'd assume that when it does the bug damage, it's probably hitting like before and after the split, right? But not sure. Huckleberry. Now full reloads on kills. Replace Catalyst with Kinetic Tremors. That's solid, but I mean, it's still probably not really good. I guess with Peacekeepers, maybe. Tarabba can be a beast in the right situation. When Ravenous Beast is active, gain damage resistance against incoming salary damage. I can't speak. When Ravenous Beast is active, gain damage resistance against incoming salary damage. Well, I mean, 50% isn't bad, but it's so situational. It's not like Risk Runner, where it's just there. Solid though. Uh, Now gains a symmetry. Now gains a stack of dynamic charge on kills in addition to precision hits. Duality. On Black Wings, stacks for max effect reduced from 5 to 3. Extended duration of buff from 7 to 10. I don't know what that even is. I'm sorry. Uh, I guess we can check, but doubt that's anything important. I don't even have a duality, I don't think. I. 'Cause. 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 'C
Revenant. 'Cause I think Revenant is a good build. 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 I think Re
Does anyone even know what that is, chat? Oh, I guess the damage to shot damage. Yeah, I mean, it's still not good for DPS rotations, right? Okay. Bad Juju. Increased lifetime of string of curses from 3.5 base to 5.5 base. 7.5 with the catalyst. Increased magazine size. The weapon also appears to have become more haunted than it used to be. Is this like a look change? I'm actually interested on that. X-Diris. I'm curious of that because I think this weapon is hella cool. I love this weapon. Increased direct hit damage versus components by 33%. Adjusted the recoil and projectile to have a much flatter trajectory by doing the following. Reduce camera recoil, increase projectile velocity, reduce projectile gravity. Plus 5 ammo reserves. Now spawns a moth on 2 direct hits? Reduce moth cooldown from 4 to 3 seconds. That's honestly like... That's cool. I think that's a good buff. I like this one. That's one of the best buffs they've done this TWAB. That was welcome. Bad Juju can explode with a lot of kills. Now it's probably less. I didn't know that. That's funny. Around you or on the enemy you kill? I'm, I'm surprised I never heard of that. It's cool though. Prospector exotic perks has long been something largely impractical to most activities. Now spawns 3 powerful cluster bombs on detonation, dealing substantially more damage per shot, over a much larger area than previously. Is this gonna be broken, bro? Remove the sticky grenade. Flame grenade and remote detonation function. Unlucky for people like skating with it. Max size, max size reduced to 6. Bonus ammo reserves on the catalyst change to plus 50 reload speed. Yeah, I feel like this might be like a meta DPS option, or am I cooked? We have to test this one, chat. No, I'm really interested in X-Diris, chat, for a reason. Because we have not got there yet in the TWAB, but they nerfed auto-loading perks. So now if you want to do a rotation, you probably got to rotate between 3 weapons, not 2. If you don't want the rotation to suck. So X-Diris might gain value. Not with its total ammo. That's fair. I guess it's for burst. But now you can create pocket bricks with the new exotic they showed. Chaperone is another shotgun with a long and storied history in PvP. Added the ability to trigger Rodborn on 2 rapid precision hits. Precision hits with Rodborn also active also extend it by 3 seconds. I don't remember what the perk does. Okay, whatever. Uh, no, man. They fixed the Lumina grapple. No. That was so cool. I love that tech. Come on. Oh, 07 for real. I don't even think Lumina was bad. Like, that's not even true. Like, who was using the healing out over, like, Lumina? I truly think they look at, like, they probably just look at usage rates, which never tell the picture because, like, yeah, the healing out were literally a new weapon they released. Of course, players are gonna use them because they drop them in the pale art and have fun with them, right? But I don't think any good team will go to a raid and be like, yo, let me put on a healing auto rifle. That does not happen. While I feel like good teams do use Lumina. Like, it is a thing. It's even a thing in speeds. Because of the damage buff, right? Like, 35%. Like, So I truly don't think it needed help, but if you wanted to help it, that's cool. I mean, we will see how it performs. Maybe it's gonna be better now, but Lumina Grapple being nerfed, it's cringe. So, Sever was not working in PvP, now it works. Slideways can now be refreshed if you slide again following the completion of the initial slide. The stream is ending. Have a good day, chat. No, I actually kind of respect that. I respect that. I was expecting them to nerf a slide shot. The fact that they're making slideways as good is wild to me. I dig it though. Like I like it. I feel like it's crazy though. No, am I cooked? Like slideways in so many weapons. Slide shot is pretty like uh it's pretty niche. So this is crazy. There are gonna be damage rotations involving this, I think. That depends if refreshed means it keeps the duration but doesn't reload. Oh, I don't know about that. I don't think so. Why didn't the trigger on alloy mag so it provides value more often? Sure. Now increases reload speed when magazine is near empty. That's good, I think. Okay. Okay, this is like the big change of the TWAB. That's like the elephant in the room, but it's probably a good change overall. Let's read it though. Autoloading Oster. Increase time to reload by 1 second for bot based and enhanced. So, I'm sorry, my friend Izanagi. You were already dead. And they just pissed on your tomb. Like, unlucky for Izanagi. Like, Easy is like, wasn't even met anymore, but like, you know, it like paired well with autoloading due to the time it took to proc the next 4x. If autoloading takes longer, I mean, you can still use Easy, but now you must use another special with it, otherwise you're just trolling. And at that point, that's not very practical. Right? At that point, it's just not gonna be very practical. So, I mean, it can still be used like a speed and stuff, right? But in a day one raid, you wouldn't go to the witness with like Easy IKL sniper and like a rocket. That's just insane. So, yeah, Easy's probably dead for day ones. Uh, then reconstructions increase time to start reloading by 2 seconds for bot based and enhanced. That's an insane nerf to Apex, by the way. That is an insane nerf to Apex. Now, those two things are both very strong nerfs, and auto loading perks are fun perks to use, right? So many people aren't gonna be happy. I will have to play with those changes to be able to comment. What I'm saying though is auto-loading perks have been hard meta for like the past, I don't know, 6 day ones. So I don't mind them shaking things up. Like me personally, I am okay to try out other things. Right? Because objectively they were some of the best is not perks by a good margin. So it makes sense for them to be like, yo, let's keep their identity. Let's like make them slightly less strong. You can still use them, right? you just have to do longer rotations, which might even be more interesting and more skillful, right? Because again, now you're kind of forced to use two different weapons. Unless you do like... Unless you do... I don't know, a 140 sniper with like rewind rounds and then you like fire more bullets and then swap to your rocket. You could do that too, but 2 extra seconds on reconstruction is a lot of time. So... Yeah. And now, if Envious was still usable as a perk, I would just say like, you know, everyone is gonna use Envious. Envious is dead now because if you swap anything in your loadout, you lose Envious stacks. So at that point, I'd say like I don't even know how the next DPS meta is gonna look like. Like I'm actually confused right now. If you were telling me like what's gonna be the next DPS meta, I'd tell you it's fucking Whisper. Like, which is crazy and it's almost exciting, right? But it's a weird time to be a Destiny player. But I'm okay with it. Uh, no, Tyrant, I didn't. What happened? I'm Cody, welcome. Are you guys enjoying this TWAB review? By the way, how I'm doing it? I'm trying to not go too fast, but it's a long TWAB. I don't even know how to put this on YouTube. Like, if I have to someone edit this, it's gonna take like hours. I might upload it like unedited. There's gonna be some time where I talk with chat, but it's probably not like a huge deal. Anyways. Master of Arms can now stack up to 2x. 1x grant 15% damage, and 2x grants 25% damage. Well, interesting, I guess. Oh, for 4 seconds and drops 1x when the timer expires. Interesting. I mean, that's a good buff to Master of Arms. It's nowhere near as good as it was, but I think that's solid. I think that's solid. The trigger for this perk was unnecessarily difficult for its output. Downing Origin. Remove the time limit between kills. Now requires skills in a life instead of in rapid succession. Bro, I'm gonna be very real. I don't know what that is. Does anyone know what that is? I got no clue. Like, actually, zero idea. Oh, I mean, no, yeah, reading the name, I guess it's like, it has to be the Downing Origin trait. I just assumed it was a perk. I didn't remember Downing having a perk, but yeah, it's probably the trait then. Is it the one that spawns like purple boxes or something? Yeah, I think so. Okay. Whatever. Whatever. The armband pairs have long been divisive on their use due to their downsides. So we're now reducing the downsides. Bro, every time I read Iron Reach, Iron Gaze, Iron Grip, all I think about is getting a multi-mech with Iron Gaze and like attrition orbs. And I'm like, bro, can you give me the roll? And no, I did not get the roll. Attrition orbs, kinetic tremors does not exist. Uh, weapon mods. Oh, they're adding a bunch of weapon mods? That's cool. This can be equipped on enhanced or crafted weapons. Wait, what do you mean by enhanced? Like masterworked? No, right? So like adept weapons? Oh, combo stats, that's cool. Range stability. Wait, did we ever have any mod that gave range? Or is that the first time? I think we had a depth range. But we never had a regular mod that gave range, did we? So this is gonna actually be disgusting on Rose, correct? Rose stocks just went up, chat. I don't even think you care about like Icarus. Tactical. Reload handling. Aerodynamics, blast radius, projectile speed, tension, draw time accuracy, edge, charge rate, guard resistance, anti-flinch, 15% flinch reduction. Honestly, that's valid. That is a valid mod. Edge is a fun name. If Obama was in VC, he would say some stupid shit. Your 5 out of 5 rolls is going to be a 6 out of 5? Yeah. Ammo finder enhancement. Progresses roughly 10% faster per kill with this weapon. Interesting. I don't see anyone equipping those, but interesting. Are they gonna ever allow us to like put mods on exotics? It could be cool. Optic mods. Allows customization of weapon zoom? That's interesting. Range doesn't affect aim assist anymore. Does zoom do that? Maybe. I don't know. Marksman optics. Oh, it's for certain weapons specifically. Okay. Oh no, never mind. Synergy. Escalating chance to spawn a subclass Bauble. Bro, what does that mean? What the fuck? I mean, I get it, but matching these weapons damage type. Kinetic weapons spawn an orb of power instead. Honestly, that's valid. Stun loader. Partially refits his weapons magazine on standing a champion. Valid. Thoughts on the future. With Revenant in the bag, we're looking ahead to episode Heresy. Significant updates to glaives. A particularly underutilized heavy ammo sniper, Darcy, and even aggressive frame fusion rifles. Oh, those are the slow firing ones, right? Further down the line, we have big plans for wide changes to the overall ammo economy. That's good. Thank God. Introducing more determinism and build crafting options. Good, but I hope they also rework the base ammo economy. Like, I don't want only more ways to get ammo. I also want them to rework the ammo timer and get rid of that. Seasonal weapons dropping with Revenant. Their origin trait called Dark Eater Harvest. Their perks can be enhanced. Okay. Unsurmountable. Void Precision Frame Sidearm. A redacted perk. I mean, it's a sidearm, bro. Sovereignty. Void Adaptive Frame Sniper Rifles. I think we got ads, but since I might upload this unedited, I'm not gonna stop talking, but we're just going over this. I'm not really commenting right now. Does that have anything good? Oh, it's a sniper. Yeah. Red tape. Stasis lightweight frame scout rifle. 3 redacted perks? Oh, because it's stasis. They probably added some stasis perks. Okay. Vantage point, arc adaptive frame pulse rifle. Exuvia stays aggressive frame and cannon. What's aggressive frame? Like 2 burst? Bittersweet arc adaptive frame grenade launcher. Liturgy stasis double fire grenade launcher. That's interesting. Oh, it's slideways? Where is my cook? Reconstruction would have been gutted if it wasn't nerfed. Oh, aggressive is 120? I see. How are the burst ones called? It doesn't really have a damage perk though. It might not be good for rotations. I guess chill clip, eh? With the buff to like, with the buff to shatter. Um. Okay, so do we know what the trait does yet? No, the origin trait we don't, right? Chill clip on double fire. Would the insta freeze? Oh, would it? Oh, that sounds broken. The new perk seems crazy on the sniper. Wait, which new perk? How do we know those? Well, I guess some creators put some videos, right? Dark Eater Reaper Origin trait. Kills with this weapon periodically spawn Dark Eater charges. Charges can be detonated early with weapon fire or by coming into contact with them. Doing so refuses weapons from reserve. So that's cool. Like ISO from Valorant. I think that's very cool. I love that. I wish they would have added that to the game. We were talking about that last stream. That's very cool. It gives a debuff shot. Oh, it's like box breathing, but it debuffs if you hold for a bit. Yeah, no, okay, that's solid. I feel like it's more of a solo perk, but that's solid. I mean, I guess it makes div less useful unless you are in need of a crit bubble. Probably good. We had Kairos on div on witness, which was questionable. If that sniper existed, we would have not done that. We should have not done that either way, but yeah. Uh, so now they're saying that Interlight was fun because we were chasing weapons, and so Revenant seasonal weapons will not be craftable. Perks can be enhanced. Uh, you can target specific weapons and even get extra perks per column. Nice, I guess. Probably a good middle ground. Uh, okay. I mean, what they did with adept weapons in raids, where like you can select everything apart from the two main perks, is probably the best way to go about it. Yeah, but Div was consistent. Other weekend sources weren't, while the sniper will probably be pretty consistent. Reprise Garden of Salvation weapon. Cool. Let's run some gardens. Don't mind. I never really like when they make raid weapons craftable. I mean, in this case, it's probably good because no one is playing garden and garden weapons are bad. Making all the raid weapons craftable does have the issue where no one then runs the raid ever because when you have it crafted, there is zero reason to run it. But for an old raid, it's probably fine. Anyways, so that's all the weapons from garden. Rampage kill clip on the Young Cannon. That's interesting, like that. Uh, did they add the weapon or have they always been 7? They've always been 7, right? Uh, the encounter is changing to void. Oh, interesting. Why? All good. Have they ever changed the element of a raid weapon when they reprise the raid? Weird. Why will they do that? Anyway, it's all good. Uh, Let's see. What is this? Do we know where those are from? What's Pursuit? Just like a random drop? Stasis Precision Auto Rifle, Fair Judgment, Crucible, Anonymous Autumn, Arc, Lightweight Sidearm. Why is Arc highlighted? Is it returning and they change element maybe? Competitive, Deadlock, Stasis Precision Frame Shotgun. That's a slug, right? Vanguard Ops, Wicked Sister, Strand Adaptive Grenade Launcher, Nightfall, Rake Angle, Stasis Aggressive Glaive. Why is this like highlighted? This is the first glaive that's Stasis and not exotic, I guess. Plug 1, no one cares. Gambit with guns, yeah, whatever. Let's not forget about the 4 weapons from Season of Displeasure that were getting reprised. So they're reprising Ignition Code, I've heard, right? I wonder if it's gonna have the Broken Blinding Slide Shot combo. Ignition Code nowadays remains the strongest weapon in the game, by the way. Iron Banner will be back in the tower for 2 consecutive weeks. Yeah, I love Iron Banner, I do not. New Iron Banner sets. I don't know why this looks like it should have been Warlord's Ruin armor. The other one looks so similar to ones we already had. According to the videos, yet it does. Wait, what does? Uh, so why are they saying the first weapon is the first ever of its kind? Oh, it's the first Stasis rocket sidearm. Cool. Tinasha's Mastery. What does it get? Bro, highlighting loose change is insane. Bro, I see loose change, I insta shard. +4 shards. All good though. Uh, I mean, impulse amplifier, of course. Um, Adagio. I mean, Adagio impulse is very good on it. I wouldn't run chill clip. Maybe I see the vision. Probably Adagio though. I don't know. Adagio fits very good the rocket sidearms because the slow rate of fire doesn't matter as much. Stasis high impact machine gun. I mean, whatever. Archon Thunder. I remember that. Chill clip plus change sounds good. I mean, I think impulse is better. I don't know though. You can reload fast in other ways. Some ornament and some corrupted textures. I remember the exotic from Final Shape. I don't remember the name. The Select or whatever. I had some weird geometry on my screen when I aimed downside with Synthos. So, whoa, what's going on here? Weapons were composed of 7 regions, now they're 4. What are they cooking? The game is mixing some parts of the base weapon on top of the ornament. Can you spot the difference? Without doing it side by side, it's tough. I mean, here, you can see this like dance. Well, here you can't. I don't know if there's some big differences. I mean, I'm glad they cooked, I guess. Here there is some blue, here there isn't. Yeah, they're just cleaner. I guess there were some mini glitches. I never noticed them personally, but... Oh, this part, I mean, this makes sense. The rare inverted spire. Wasn't that meant to come out with final shape? Oh, good. Now, what's going on here? There is a new narrative to go with it, because this time the Vex are the main enemy present. That means they will have terrible defenses installed and new units deployed. Don't you love wyverns? Or is it the new like wyverns? I still don't understand what the new wyverns do. I swear they said they TP, but don't like old wyverns TP? Anyways. Our first ever Discord quest. What is that? If you play Destiny 2 for 15 minutes while on Discord, you'll earn a code for the Celestial Ties shader. What does it even mean? How do you get it? Do you get emailed by Discord? Interesting. Charity things for the hurricane with the links to donate. Then maintenance starts 3 hours and 15 minutes before reset. Make sure you claim season pass items. Me when I lie, I can use the extension. Season vendor rewards. Shax, Zavala, Drifter Saint, and Northern rewards. Whatever. All good. Congrats to the movie of the week. And cool. I mean, we went through everything. I think overall it is a good TWAB. Hello, Maxi. Yeah, I'd say it is a good TWAB. If I had to do a recap of the highlights of the TWAB, we went over the seasonal mods a bit. We said which ones are good, but they seem worse than like last season. We went over the exotic nerfs. The Lucky Pants one is a big nerf, but it's good QL. On Titan, I'd say nothing changed. Warlock just got an insane exotic, like Sanguine Alchemy is actually just like S plus tier now. They like made Goldie better than it was in relative to Nova and Twilight Arsenal, and Twilight Arsenal is dead with Star Eaters. T-Crash unchanged, so still pretty bad. Then they made weapons be more reliant on crits, which I think it's fine. Big sniper buffs apart from bosses, still good change. Shotty doesn't go to 0 fall off in PvE, very good change. Chat, I can now proc 1-2 punch from like a kilometer away. It probably doesn't matter, but that's funny. Can you imagine? I don't have an enemy like close to me, I just 1-2 punch like some ad across the map. I just snipe them. Anyways. Reduced reserves on rocket sidearms. Yeah, pretty big change. This is all useless. Tiny nerf to Char of Wands. Some buffs to those things, but nothing crazy. Yeah, I wouldn't say there's anything crazy here. The slideways buff is very big. And the nerfs to auto-loading are crazy for the sandbox and for what this means. If I get back to you later on like what the meta is. I won't even know what the meta for the dungeon will be. We're kind of gonna just like fly in there with like Eager Edge And if we see a boss and we see that the boss is a crit, we probably just put on Whisper or like Dragon's Breath. Like, you know, Dragon's Breath is still like hard meta. It's just like only one person can use it, and other people are gonna just figure it out, I think. Still, Hunter is still good, of course. Not sure, but autoloading did get it. Yeah, the Dragon's Breath stocks just went up like crazy. Like, I'm saying it now, but I'm 99% sure if you're doing a solo flawless dungeon, you should just play Solar subclass and Dragon's Breath. I think that's just it. Yeah, I mean, the new mods are cool. Rose stocks went up. Ow, why Dragon's Breath? It is just insane. Don't you remember, like, when Warlords of Ruin came out? Like, you could two-phase Ogre on both Warlock and Hunter just using Dragon's Breath. Like, the weapon just does an insane amount of damage, and the total damage is absurd. Only one person can use it because it doesn't, like, stack ignitions with multiple people. But I mean, you know, I'm saying for a solo flawless dungeon, or if you're the only one doing ignitions, it's very strong. With like GL's big nerfed in the sense that Envious is unusable. For sure. Oh, they also said they're gonna add a new perk, right? That makes you reload your weapon when you hit a target with the other two weapons. It's a new rotation perk. That's gonna be decent. We need to like test that out, especially with DOT weapons. Reconstruction is still decent. Reconstruction is still gonna be good for overflowing your mag if you don't fire for a bit. But the fact that it now takes 2 extra seconds to load the first bullet makes it way worse. Way worse. For rotations. Yeah, Sanguine with Dragon's Breath might go crazy. Yeah, I mean... No, Dragon's Breath, it's that good, yeah. People aren't really using it much because in a team of 6, there are so many people already doing ignitions to begin with that, like, they will be stealing your damage, right? Like, if you put on Dragon's Breath and someone starts snapping on, like, Song of Flame, then you wasted your weapon slot, right? That's the thing. But when you're solo, that doesn't happen, right? So you have to consider like that. Or like Odd Witness probably will suck, so that's also why people don't use it there. But it's very good. Anyways. Yeah, I mean I think that's it. I'm gonna upload this to YouTube. It's probably like a 2 hours YouTube video. If I knew I was gonna upload the unedited, I would have probably not waited for ads to end, and I would have probably not taken breaks when I did. Like, I'm sure within the video there are like a couple of like 1 or 2 minutes breaks, but I feel like it's gonna be pretty watchable overall. Especially because we went mostly in a chronological order, so if you want to see like a specific part of the TWAB, you can just see like where my, where this thing is, I don't know you call it, and you know if I'm gonna comment on it or not, right? What's best to pair with Dragon's Breath for DPS? It's a fusion rifle because it's just easy, or you can use a sniper. Yeah, I mean, I went pretty slow when reading it. I wanted to like expand on things and like have a convo with you guys. I answered some questions, but yeah, I feel like we did a pretty good job. I hope you guys enjoyed. Yeah, so for those watching on YouTube, see you guys. Have a good day.